Hello everyone, Ecology here, and welcome back to the 9.13 test server. And in this video, I'll be showing you the HD models of the Japanese tanks, the Type 95 Hago, the Type 98 Kini, the Chiha, the Chinese Chiha, I should say, and I think one other vehicle. I'm not 100% sure. But I hope you enjoy this, so sit back and relax and look at the Japanese and Chinese HD models. And here we are with the Type 2597 Chiha. And this isn't the Japanese, no, it's the Russian version. Or, it's not the Russian version either. It's the Chinese version. Oh my gosh, words. And I've been looking forward to seeing this thing since ever, because I really want to see the suspension work. And if it works the way I think it works, then it should look beautiful, but I'm really crossing my fingers. Here we go, slow speed. Up, down, up, down. Oh, that looks great. So far, it is working fine. But, then again, it's not working fine, and now I'm quite disappointed. That's now sad. Because that's not how it works. Wargaming, this is not... No. I am now quite sad. I am now sad and depressed. Because that's not how the suspension works. No, I am now disappointed. And that is disappointing me now. Because that's not how the suspension works. It's not. And now I'm disappointed because it's not working properly, and it should. At first, I'm like, yay, and then I'm like, no, that's not how it works. Wargaming. How do you get this wrong? Like, they got that somewhat right, and then they got this wrong. Like, this whole truck assembly, these two wheels are attached permanently to that. And then this section moves up and down, and it also goes in and out. So it goes up, down, in and out. But for some reason, Wargaming went with the cheap way and made this road wheel go up and down independently of this thing, which, in my opinion, is a crime. I am disappointed with the suspension. Failing grade, F for suspension. F. F minus. F, it's a Z for 0. That's how disappointed I am. But with that being said, let's look at the rest of the tank. The rear idler wheel looks fantastic. The drive sprocket matches perfectly with the track, which is good. All in all, looks great. The side of it, nice exhausts. Has a jack to lift up the tank. The tank bar, some rivets, and that's basically it for that. Now let's look at the front. Disappointing suspension. Ugh. Turret, spin, there we go. And let's look at the front of the tank. You got a lot of rivets in the front, which are nice. I love the track. That's one thing I love about Japanese tanks, are the track. I love Japanese track. It has a headlight in front. It has a bar, just in case it gets stuck, you can pull it out. The driver's hatch has a couple of viewports and the thing that opens. You got the Type 97 machine gun, I think that is, with the viewport so the person that's shooting can see out. Then you have the small 47-inch gun, which you do see rifling, which is nice. Then you see rivets around the gun plate, which is good. The commander's hatch with a viewport, which is closed up, I think. Got the antenna, and you've got the crew hatch, or the co-hatch, which all looks nice, I have to say. Now, as we turn the tank to its side, we can look at its side detail, which is very much not as cool as the other side. It's pretty plain, actually. Let's see if I can make him jiggle. Jiggle physics are not really that great on this tank, which is quite disappointing, actually. quite disappointed with the suspension. Quite disappointed. As long as they don't disappoint the Chiha. Oh my gosh. Words. I'm sorry. But the back, you got 2 tank hooks, so it can get pulled out of trouble. Got twin exhaust on each side, or 2 exhausts on each side. You got the lights in the rear. You got 1 big light. You got the probably reverse light, the blinker, and stop light. You got some tow ropes, or cable in the back. You got a shovel and a pickaxe. And you got some engine deck detail, as in a couple hatches, places to put your oil and gas. And in the back of the turret, you got another machine gun, which is nice, and you got a hatch for the crew. All in all, the tank doesn't look bad. I'm very disappointed with the suspension, which is not really good. Let's see if I can show you the suspension. I'm going to ask him to find a bumpy place. Where's something bumpy? Okay, I got one. I got a bumpy place. Awesome. So I'm gonna... There, he's now going over some bumps. Now I can go follow him, and I can go show you what I mean. Now, what I mean by this is that bar right there in the middle is supposed to go up and down. The road wheels are supposed to stay attached to that road wheel. But as he goes over bumps, that goes up, that doesn't. And it for me, the whole truck assembly is supposed to rise and fall with the suspension, and it's not working properly. And to me, that is quite disappointing, because I love the Japanese tanks to death, and when you don't model my favorite tank's suspension properly, it just looks wrong, and I don't like it. Like, Japanese had some very, very nice suspension. But with that being said, back to the garage. And here we are with the WZ-131. It's a scout tank for the Chinese army, I guess. And, well, it based on a Russian vehicle. It's pretty fast, pretty nifty. I like the suspension, but it's not the best suspension I've seen. I like it better on a certain tank, certain Chinese tank, which has a smaller wheel well, I think. But it's still nice, I have to say. It's Chinese. I never played this thing. I really want to, like, grind up, but I'm not a scout tank player. Not at all. So playing scout tanks is not my thing. There he is. Back up. Beep, 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 beep. Okay, there we go. Now, let's see. The drive sprocket is nice. Mashes with the road wheel, which is nice. Nicely done road wheels. It's see-through, and I love see-through. That is nice. I like that. The idler wheel in the front. Track's nice. Got some tow hooks, got some spare track, got a box or crate. Has another one, the exhaust, which I like the Russian exhaust on the side, and has a jerry can on the side, which is nice. The turret detail has some grab irons, has the big antenna or radio antenna, has a commander's hatch and another hatch on the other side, the fume extractor, and the Russian machine gun. So not bad, not bad. Let's turn the tank, and let's look at it from front angle. Well, the track's not bad. I do like the way the track looks. Got some hooks to hook on to get the tank out of trouble. Got a wooden piece going across. Has some lights to light up in the dark. The driver's viewport, and he has a hatch to get in and out, which is great. Front of the turret, if I can look a little more. There we go. It does have a machine gun, which I do not know if the machine gun is attached to the gun, which it is not. That's upsetting, because I was hoping for the machine gun to raise and lower with the gun. Sad face. Gun rifling. Yes, that is a plus. Yes, nice. Nicely done. Other side, other side, other side, other side. Well, has another fuel can in the front, some more spare tracks on the side, smaller box, 2 more fuel tanks. So it has a lot of external fuel tanks, which is nice. Can go for long range, the long haul. And the rear of the tank has 2 external fuel tanks, which is nice. The back is not really that detailed. The top ain't really that detailed either. And the back of the turret does not have any sort of detailing at all, which is kind of upsetting. It's just a ordinary light tank, nothing really important on the detail aspect. But it does have a very quick speed, it does have nice maneuverability, and the turret traverse is quite nice, I have to say. For the first time playing this tank, it is quite nice. Handles quite nice. So that's all I can say about it. Not bad, not great, but it's decent, it's HD. It's nice. And back to the garage. Here we are with the Type 95 Hago, a tank that I really hope won't disappoint me. And I haven't been looking at the suspension just for that reason, because I don't want this to be disappointed. And here goes nothing. Here might be a... see, that's... Wargaming, no! No, this thing had beautiful suspension! I want to cry. I want to cry. I really do. Wargaming, no. No. That's not how this works. No. That is gross. What? My favorite tanks and, My heart is breaking right now. If you can hear the shattering of glass, that is my heart breaking into pieces of this very sad day, because I was really looking forward to this. And I watched a video, and there's documentation of the suspension of this tank right here, and they like don't even look at it. And that's, to me, is upsetting, because this thing had beautiful suspension. And for them not even to look at the footage, to not even implement the suspension correctly, for me, that's just sad. The suspension gets a failing grade on this. I'm sorry, whoever modeled the Type 95 Hago really needs to redo it, because I am sorry, but the suspension is utter garbage. It is. I am just sad. Because it looks nice. Like, look at that. That arm looks nice, but look at it. It is fixed. It is permanent. It should not be able to make that wheel go up and down without making this wheel do at least something. And that's what is very disappointing to me, is there's video. There is actual video on YouTube of a Type 95 Hago going over bumps, going over trenches, and the suspension working. And for them to blatantly not have the suspension model correctly is, well, a crime. It is a crime. Well, enough about the sad suspension. Let's go over the rest of the tank. A nice idler wheel in the back, has very big return rollers, which are nice, I guess. The drive sprocket matches with the track, which is good. The side detail is, you can see a tank bar, a shovel, a pickaxe, the jack to lift up the tank. You got a storage box on the side, which is quite nice. I'm quite disappointed. I cannot get that out of my mind. I'm always going to be quite disappointed with how that turned out. But like I said, I do love Japanese tracks. That track looks fantastic. I love rivets. Rivets are great. Has a tow hook. Has 2 hatches to see the transmission in front. The Top Gun does have rifling, which is nice. You got the Type 97 machine gun. I think that's the machine gun. If it's not, please tell me. You got 2 headlights in the front, which is nice. The driver's port. And the turret, which is quite nice. It's quite small. Only 1 hatch. But it's a 3-seater. Yeah. Is it 3? Oh my... I can't... No. The suspension is just too garbage. Oh, I'm so sad. Well, this side is bland as well. It has a vent on the side to... Can I actually see in? Is that engine inside? No. No, it's not engine. But you have the exhaust, which is a nice looking exhaust. And let's turn the tank one last time to see the rear. There we go. And the rear of the tank has some cables, just in case it gets stuck. It can attach itself to something, or another tank can pull it out. You got a nice brake light, I have to say. A hatch to view the engine, or the transmission, or something. A small little hatch here, probably to fill up the fuel tanks. And you got the engine hatch to view the engine. All in all, the outside look is fantastic. I like the small looking tank, but the suspension is just it just saddens me. It saddens me a lot when I try to look at good suspension. And I was very excited for the Japanese to get HD'd, because they're one of my favorite tech trees in the game, are the Japanese. And for them to model the suspension wrong, it's just garbage. Look at that. Look at that garbage. Oh, I'm so sad with it. I also forgot to say the back of the turret has a machine gun, I think. But it's not what I care about right now. I care about that suspension. Look at that. It's supposed to look, well, something like that, straight and true, but that is flat. That is not how the suspension is supposed to look. I am sorry, Wargaming, but you cannot pull this crap. I am sorry, but it's disappointing. It really is. There's nothing I can say about it that is good about that suspension. It is relatively disappointing. The Hago had some of the most prettiest suspension I have ever seen on a tank. And they had to do that to it. I'm sorry. But back to the garage. Here's the last HD tank for the Japanese, which is the Type 98 Kini. Yes, the little Kini got HD'd. I love my Japanese tanks, but I've been kind of not happy with the suspension, and yeah, it's the same thing. It's not as pretty as I thought it would be. Like, I know Wargaming isn't the best at suspension sometimes, but they could have gave a little bit more love to the Japanese. It just looks gross. I'm sorry, but the Japanese suspension looks gross right now. And I know my Japanese suspension. I watched video, and there are footage of the suspension. Granted, not of the Kini, but of the Hago and the Chihas and the stuff like that. The tanks that were actually built in real life. So, kind of disappointed to see it like that. But with that being said, let's look. The idler wheel at the back looks great. Like most of it, it's see-through. I like see-through drive wheels. But that suspension is gross. I can't... It's just... I hope Wargaming fixes it in the future. I hope they do. Return rollers are nice. You got a shovel and a tank bar. Got the pickaxe, which is hiding behind the jack to lift the tank up. It's a pretty tank, yes, but Suspension is what really gets me, and if it has very crappy suspension, I don't know. So let's see, the front of the tank, I love Japanese tracks. I do love that. I love the rivets. Rivets are fantastic. You got the hatches to get to the transmission, because it's a frontal transmission tank. You got 2 headlights in the front. Nicely angled. You got driver slits on both sides with the hatch, or the hatch in the center. The gun does have rifling, which is nice. You got 2 headlights on the, or 2 lights on the turret, which is cool. And you got that machine gun. And you got a very big hatch on the roof. This thing is quite small. It only houses 3 crew members, so it doesn't need to be big. And there we go. And this side is basically the same as the other, but in reverse. And we get the exhaust on this side, which I have to say isn't really that detailed, I have to say. It just looks like they just put the texturing over it and didn't actually bother making the holes, which is quite sad. They got sloppy with this one, I guess. And they have a storage box on this side, which is also good. The back of the turret has a hatch, just in case the top one doesn't work or something. The engine, let's turn around, please. There we go. No, it's not. That's not better. There we go. Well, the rear of the tank has a stop light, or reverse light. It has 2 hooks to get it unstuck. Got some tow ropes. And has room for a hatch for the engine, and hatches for the transmission as well, which is nice. All in all, it's not a bad tank. I do wish Wargaming fixes the suspension on this, because it's quite sad that the Japanese don't get its real suspension. Because that's one thing I like about my Japanese tanks, is I like their suspension. I like the way that they work. Like, if you actually go and look up Japanese suspension and see how they actually really work, you'll be quite amazed. And that's what I want in the game. But I know it's a video game and there is limitations. But, I don't know. I expected more. And with that being said, back to the garage. And we're back in the garage. Like I said in the video, I'm not very impressed with the suspension on the Japanese tanks. There is a video out there. Just type in Google, like, I might put it in the description, like the video to the suspension to this tank, because the suspension is very lovely. And it's such a shame that Wargaming got it wrong. I hope they fix it in the future, because I really want to see real Japanese suspension. Because as you can see, this is supposed to go up and down. These wheels are supposed to be connected. This bar does not bend. If this wheel goes down, this wheel goes up. If this wheel goes up, this wheel goes down. But it's all connected by this piece. Also, it's connected by this rod back here, which will take this truck up and down, up and down. Then it's also connected by a piece here that makes it go in and out like this. So it goes up, down, in, out. But in the game right now, it's not really working how it's supposed to, which is kind of upsetting, I have to say. But with that being said, I hope you liked this video, and yeah. I'm not going to do the camouflage for the rest of the videos. I don't have the time for it, and these videos are getting a little lengthy, so adding more to these videos is not really... I want them short. That's what I'm saying. I want them a little bit shorter. But if you want a longer video, I guess I could. So, tell me in the comments if you want longer videos or not, because this is already long enough as it is. But, like I said, thank you so much for watching, and this is the test server. Remember to click the like button, and to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And see you in another HD video. See ya. Bye-bye.